Good evening. Wow. I have to say, we might see things get a little crazy in Akron, Ohio, and I know I said that wrong. Akron, Ohio. Um, wow. And I'm gonna go over that. I'm gonna go over why I think this is going to be a powder keg. This particular case. And before I get into that, I just want to say today, Southern Prepper One, and if you're not a sub of Southern Prepper One and you're a sub of ours, like how does that even happen? But anyway, he put out a couple of just absolute grand slams today. Um, let's see. One of them, the one he just put out a little bit ago, is titled "Most Important Prep You Need to Do While on This Earth." Absolutely incredible video. I urge you to check that out. And earlier, he did a boots on the ground. This one's titled July 3rd, Inflation 20 to 30%. And there was something in that report that just really stuck out to me. And I mean, he paused a little bit, to show the emphasis on it, but man, I don't know. This needs to be put up on billboards or something. So please pass this bit of information around. I haven't personally gone in and looked to confirm anything. I had my suspicions, but he, during his report, said that one of the people that emailed him, had said that and it was I don't remember if it was a funeral home, and they were saying that they have as many funerals per week as what they used to have per month. Now again, I haven't gone and personally verified this. I would urge people that have the time and know off the top of their head where they would go to pull those resources, go look. I urge you to, please. And if somebody can do that, if you can pull that up, you let me know. I'll report your findings. I just ask that you give me what you find and not what you want to see. That's the big thing. And I probably will kind of go peek, so please have any links handy. But it is what it is. I am very picky about this. Oh, I'll deal with in a second. Anyway, let's see. Where was I at? Sorry. There was a package that was misdelivered earlier, and so that's the neighbor dropped it off. So that's what that was about. Anywho, back on the point. Where was? Oh, so he was saying that, like I said, that this funeral home is stating that more patients, or not more patients, but they've been dealing with more funerals per week than they have, previously per month. So I find this very interesting. And again, if anybody can confirm that, please, please let me know of any links or anything, any, detail on that you could provide. That's not something that I have any idea where to even start to look. So, but it's not surprising, and I did expect it, or suspect it, I should say. It's crazy, and I mean they have been right out front about this whole sudden adult death syndrome, and yeah, I don't buy that for a second. There is a cause for SIDS, it's not prevalent in all children, and some children are susceptible to SIDS. It's something that they will grow out of, providing that they do not, pass away from it. But it's not something that you carry into adulthood. And, this whole new sudden adult death syndrome thing just popped up out of nowhere, since then. So I find that highly suspect in itself. But anyway, I wanted to point that out. The other video I told you about, the most important prep you need to do while on this earth, that is going to be about the Father and where Dave stands on that. And I absolutely stand behind what he has to say. So, good videos. I urge you to check them both out. Now, let's talk about this Ohio situation. Understand that protests, especially protest over shooting of individuals, is something that I have followed very closely for some time. And I approach every single one of them the same way, with a completely clear slate. I don't put any kind of preconceived notions or anything like that. And as we actually started the Watchman News in 2014, was right when that was the Ferguson stuff was going on, and we covered that in detail. We were one of two maybe or three different news outlets that covered the how do I want to say this? They were dressed in National Guard uniforms. I don't think they were National Guard. And there's some interesting video footage of, them being in the vicinity of where fires just happened to pop up. And again, I want to be very, very clear when I say they were dressed as National Guard. I don't think it was National Guard. Anywho, I think I think if they were seen doing it, that's who they would rather people thought it was. Okay? There's a lot of shady stuff that goes on at these protests, and a lot of shady stuff that is absolutely backed by different politicians and different, what's the word from, philanthropists or whatever the hell. So it is what it is. This particular incident in Akron, Ohio, I have a lot of questions, and it's got my eyebrows raised high. Number one, Akron police have a long history, a very, very long history of corruption. It's not even remotely anything new. In fact, they've, from my understanding, just from hearing different stuff because of this incident, they had just put in a bunch of different measures and stuff like that like a year ago, if I recall correctly, as a result of another shooting. So, this is something they've dealt with for some time. And today they had released body cam footage. And I watched their presentation from start to finish, the one that they gave to the media. Okay? And I watched the video, which they did not play in its entirety. And probably for their better interest. And, so, where was it that I saw? Somebody had said where. Oh, it was actually on one of Ford Fisher's live streams that he was doing from the protest. Somebody had mentioned a news outlet that had the video that they released to the press up on their website. So I went and I got it. I'm just letting it play through, and it's a lot longer than what they showed at the press conference. And I found something very interesting. Probably the best camera angle to get an idea of what went on and kind of the timeline. And you'll see why I say that's important. The timeline was one of the clips that they put towards the end. So I honestly believe that they put that towards the end And I think they strategically placed which body cam video that they put in what spot, in order, so that it would you would be unlikely to pay much attention to the body cam videos later on. However, we aren't going to watch the whole video. I am going to show you the very spot that I'm talking about. It's not a very long segment. I have to say it's graphic. I don't know if that would protect me with YouTube or not. It is graphic. I mean, it is what it is. But I think you'll see why I've got big questions. Now, they did answer some questions today. One of those, to me, one of the important ones that they answered that I was misinformed in the beginning, is I thought they said that there was a firearm, a weapon that was on him initially. Somebody had said that anyway initially, and they clarified that today. That is not the case. He was unarmed when they shot him. However, they claim that he had a firearm in the car. Now, whether he did or didn't, I don't know. And I'm not going to jump on anybody's side and say I believe anybody in this. I am not naive. This whole case that the Akron Police Department is making is completely centered around, and they pointed out, completely centered around the claim that he took a shot at them early on in the police chase. And indeed, you can hear on the body camera a pop. Now, was that pop a gunshot? I can't tell you. All I know is I heard something. Was it a gunshot? I have no idea. Could have been any number of things. It wasn't a distinct gunshot, no. I can't say absolutely, certainly, 100% that was a gunshot, no. Could have been any number of sounds. It wasn't that damn clear. They supposedly have video to where I guess you see a little bit of a flash, but I can't see much, to be real honest. Ford Fisher had asked probably the most important question that any reporter could have asked today, and that was, do you have any of the dash cam footage? And that answer was no. Huh. Really? So, the absolute best view you would have of him taking that shot, you just don't happen to have a copy of that handy? Huh. So, I caught that really, really quick. I actually caught before Ford, I was asking the question before Ford asked it. And I was like, come on, they got to have something better that this guy shot at them. So, I don't know. From my understanding, this isn't a guy that's known to be a troublemaker or anything like that. From my understanding, I don't know. There was some talk about a ring and something about he had a ski mask on. I don't get this stuff. From my understanding, this guy was not a bad guy. From my understanding. So, I don't know. I'm not telling you I have all the details because I don't. And in fact, I never will because I wasn't there. But what I can tell you is there is some stuff that seems awful shady. And then to top it all off was the shooting itself. Man, I'll tell you what. They take less shots in a firing squad than what they fired at this man. You could tell he was shot. You could tell he was down. And for 3 to 4 seconds, the shots kept ringing out as his body recoiled off the ground from the rounds. Now that I have to question. Who in the hell would think that you need to keep continuing to fire rounds in a body that is clearly done? There's a switch up there that's not turning off. And if somebody can't turn that switch off, they need to be removed from that position. And there was a whole lot of people there that night that didn't seem to have the ability to turn that switch off. That's a problem. So, they have been preparing, and by the way, you always know when they do these press conferences, you know whether or not they did wrong by the amount of BS that they spew before they show you the quote-unquote evidence. Okay? And they were laying it on thick before they showed any of the video. I mean thick. You could tell. You could tell. They are so concerned that, I'll take you on over the web view here. They are so concerned that the 4th of July celebration has been canceled over the shooting. It says here the American city of Akron, Ohio has canceled its Independence Day celebrations following a high-profile police shooting earlier this week, which saw several officers firing almost 100 rounds at a young black man they were chasing. The man died after more than 60 rounds struck his body. Akron Mayor Dan Horrigan, a Democrat, called the incident a dark day for our city on Friday as he announced the Akron authorities would not hold any of the planned 4th of July festivities during the holiday weekend. The Rib, White, and Blue Festival was scheduled to begin Friday in downtown Akron and last until Monday. I feel strongly that this is not the time for a city-led celebration, Horrigan explained. The decision was caused by a high-profile police shooting that occurred on Monday and has already led to some protest in the city. At that time, a group of police officers sought to pull over. Well, that goes into the whole story. And I'm not going to do all that because many of you probably have heard the story more than I have. I don't rush to this stuff. Now, I heard about it, but I don't run to it and start digging. Why? Because I'm not going to get any of the truth. If I go right that second when it first comes out, there's going to be so much misinformation. So I don't want to put that in my head first thing. So I'll sit back, wait until they collect a bit, and then I'll approach it. That way I don't have any of that misinformation that I heard first. Because they do that on purpose. And absolutely do that on purpose. So anyway, more on to what I can show you and what can't be disputed, and that's this video. And may have to adjust the volume here, but what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to the length of time when you hear the rounds start being fired and until you see them stop being fired. I want you to pay particular close attention to his body. I mean, this dude was long done. And I 3 to 4 seconds after he was long done, they continued to pump rounds in his body. And again, this is graphic video. I don't know what difference that's going to make with YouTube, but it's graphic video. I can't help it. It's reality. Was I kidding? One more time. I mean, seriously? That is ridiculous. That is absolutely 110% ridiculous. So I don't know. I would say that there is a chance that they might raise hell in Akron. I don't know. I know Ford Fisher's there. I know he's continuing to cover. And, all we can do is wait and see what happens. But I would say that they've got a reason to be pissed off. That's my point, is they've got something to be pissed off about. So I'm not taking any sides or anything like that. I'm just taking a look at this and saying, yeah, I can see where people would have issue. Yeah, he said shots fired when they stopped. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't hear 2 or 3 of them keep yelling out, "Stop resisting." But it's insane. It is insane. I cannot watch that video and think for a moment that was okay. That is not, again, that switch wasn't being turned off. I don't know. Lots of questions. And I'm sure many people do. Just kind of understand things might get a little stupid in Ohio. So I wanted to cover that. And I'm going to cover the other story I've got in the headline. I don't have many tabs open tonight. I figured, oh, crap. I figured that, I forgot. Hang on. I forgot to scroll all the way down for, there we go. For when I do headlines, so. But yeah, that's insane what happened there. So I'm going to go ahead and move on about the power companies. This was an article that came out on RT. Hang on a second. That's weird. When Amazon made that delivery, they take a picture, right? And that didn't look like her. That didn't look like the neighbor's place. So I don't know. I wonder if it. I don't think it is the neighbor's place. I wonder if somebody's been or if this package has been hot potatoed. I wonder if somebody thought that place over there was this address and put it over there, because the picture of where they placed it, I have no idea what damn house that is. Anyway, nothing unusual. Let's see. Okay, let me get switched back over. U.S. power companies brace for supply crisis. This is coming from Reuters. Says American power providers are facing supply shortages that stem from increased pressure on the grid due to record high temperatures as people boost the use of air conditioning, Reuters reported on Wednesday. We got like 100-degree temps, starting tomorrow? Is that it? Tomorrow? Oh, the next. Well, yeah, but starting tomorrow, right? Yeah. So like 100-degree temps, so it's going to get even worse. According to Refinitiv data, the weather in the U.S. has already been some 21% warmer than the 30-year average. Federal agencies responsible for power reliability, like the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, have warned that grids in the western half of the country could face reliability issues this summer as consumers crank up air conditioners to escape the heat, the report states. My question is when hasn't the consumers in the West had energy issues whenever there was high demand? It is, might have something to do with California. Anyway, power companies are worried they will not be able to find the spare parts to fix equipment fast enough to avoid outages, with some of them already reporting problems due to the heat. The Electric Reliability Council of Texas, for instance, had to ask customers to cut back on energy use and turn up the temperature on air conditioners after 6 power plants went offline during a heat wave in mid-May. A month later, some 200,000 homes and businesses in Ohio were left without electricity after a storm damaged transmission lines throughout the state, and the grid operator was forced to cut power in some areas to prevent the remaining lines from being overloaded. The report says that grid operators are currently experiencing a dire shortage of transformers which convert high-voltage energy to the electricity used in homes, and according to 2 industry associations, some of them have had to wait a year or more for transformer parts. You don't want to deplete your inventory because you don't know when that storm is coming, but you know it's coming. If we have successive days of 100-degree heat, which is scheduled, those pull-top transformers, they start popping like Rice Krispies, and we would not have the supply stack to replace them, Ralph Izzo, head of the New Jersey-based Public Service Enterprise Group, Izzo, told Reuters. According to news agency, in order to preserve spare parts for their unexpected weather conditions, utility operators have been changing their maintenance habits. We're doing a lot more splicing, putting cables together instead of laying new cable because we're trying to maintain our new cable for inventory when we need it, Nick Atkins, head of Ohio-based grid operator AEP, stated. So this is, I think we're going to see become more and more of an issue across the nation. I don't think it's going to be just out west. I think we're going to see problems across the nation. We had our power flicker yesterday, was it? I can't remember. And then I kind of put together that it was actually a result of, now hang on, I don't know where it's at. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Hang on, let me see if I can, not mess stuff up. Hang on. I will find it. I'm sure it's going to be still up top. Kind of big news for this area. There's an airplane. Small aircraft crashed. There we go.
In other news tonight, Illinois State Police.
Hang on.
Old man was taken to the.
Okay. Let me see if I can. There we go. That's good there. Let me bring you back over. Yeah, 1 dead, 1 injured in plane crash near St. Jacob. That's like 10 minutes away from where we live. So anyway, unfortunate incident. I have no idea. I don't know if anything even remotely. They just say you lost altitude suddenly. So I don't know if they even remotely have a clue of what went on yet. So the pilot is apparently has life-threatening injuries, and the co-pilot unfortunately didn't make it. However, just speaking about power issues, our power flickered when this happened, and I do believe that actually, unfortunately, what caused this plane crash to be so tragic is because I believe he hit the power line. He was trying to put it in this field that you see, and I believe on his descent he hit that power line, and after he hit that power line it slowed the aircraft down so much that there was no more flying it. It just fell. And so that's what I think happened. I think if it wouldn't have been for that power line, probably a much better chance that those both of the individuals would have probably been fine. But unfortunately, that's how it goes sometimes. And our power flickered as a result. And it was strange because I've got the battery backup down there by my feet, and it started raising hell going off, and Jen's computer just went off. And it didn't take long to figure out what happened, but it was just a quick flicker. But it's just a reminder that any crazy kind of stuff can happen, and it can take out even if it's a small section of the grid. It is indeed. This is down the road, but the you see up here, you see there's some orange balls up there. That power line that you see right there is, I believe, that's the power line that actually feeds Highland, our town. So. I believe that's that main line there on Highway 40 that feeds into our town. And then, again, it was just a quick flicker and back up, but very unfortunate incident. Anywho, gotta keep in mind for any and all of that kind of stuff. Right now, they're having a hell of a time getting all kinds of different supplies. So. I expect it's probably going to get worse. So anyway, just kind of be mindful of this. I have a feeling, like I said, that a lot more of the country are going to face the rolling blackouts and whatnot than what previously did. That's not something that we really had around here. Now, we haven't had any yet, so... we'll see how things go, but we haven't had any yet here, so. Okay, I got a few more tabs open we'll go over real quick. Ukraine fires ballistic missiles at Russian city, so you can expect this to escalate. I can't remember what's all gone on since we've last spoke. I don't know if Finland and Sweden were brought in yet. I think they were. I think that might have been Thursday's news. But anywho, things are still continuing to progress towards the war front without a doubt. As this here says, Ukraine launched 3 Tokachu, Tochka-U, something like that, ballistic missiles loaded with cluster munitions at the Russian city of Belgorod, the Russian Defense Ministry said on Sunday. It added that all 3 had been intercepted midair, but that parts of one of the missiles had hit a house. Regional Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov, I know I got that way wrong, said that 3 people were killed and 4 injured overnight. He added that 11 apartment buildings and at least 39 smaller houses were damaged. Gladkov later said that the death toll had grown to 4. 3 of the victims are Ukrainian nationals and 1 is a Russian citizen, he added. Russian news outlet Baza later reported that 2 more bodies were recovered from under the rubble, raising the death toll to 5. This has not yet been confirmed by officials. Belgorod is located around 40 kilometers from the Russia-Ukraine border. Defense Ministry spokesman Lieutenant General Igor Konishnikov said that Ukraine had also sent 2 Tu-143 raised drones loaded with explosives towards Kursk, another Russian city close to the border. He said both drones were destroyed by air defenses before reaching the city. Konishnikov said that Ukraine targeted residential areas which had no military sites. The Russian authorities have repeatedly accused Ukraine of shelling cities and villages close to the border. Moscow previously warned that it would hit Ukrainian decision-making centers, including Kiev, if attacks on Russian territory did not stop. Kiev accused Russian troops of attacking residential areas and killing civilians throughout Ukraine. Moscow insists its forces are only striking military targets. And the rest just goes on into what's already went on. But I think you are going to see a significant reply, and I don't know that it has happened. I don't think it's happened yet. It might happen tonight, but I do think you're going to see a significant reply to this. So, Turkey detains Russian-flagged vessel carrying grain, says media. You don't say. This article says Turkey has seized a Russian-flagged cargo ship after Kiev claimed it was involved in the illegal transport of Ukrainian grain, Reuters reported on Sunday, citing Ukrainian ambassador to Turkey, Vasily Bodnar. We have full cooperation. The ship is currently standing at the entrance to the port. It has been detained by the customs authorities of Turkey, Vasily Bodnar told Ukrainian national television. According to the ambassador, investigators will decide on the vessel's fate on Monday. The move comes 2 days after Ukrainian diplomats call on the Turkish authorities to detain the vessel, the Zebek Zoli, arguing that it was transporting stolen Ukrainian agricultural produce. The ship departed from the Azov seaport of Berdyansk, located not far from the city of Mariupol, which is controlled by Russian forces and Donbass militias, and arrived at the Turkish port of Karasu. Bodnar wrote in a series of Twitter posts on Friday, asking Turkey to take relevant measures. The diplomat also said that the mission had good communication and close cooperation with the Turkish side on the matter, and that he was sure the agreed decisions would prevent attempts to violate the sovereignty of Ukraine. The ship allegedly loaded around 4,500 tons of grain in Berdyansk, Reuters reported, citing an unnamed Ukrainian official. The news agency also noted that Ukrainian Prosecutor General's office sent a letter to Turkey's Justice Ministry in late June, claiming the vessel had been involved in the illegal export of Ukrainian grain. So, who knows? To be honest, right now it's kind of crazy. They're playing around when it comes to grain, especially with the world. But even, I don't remember if it was Zelensky himself or somebody else within the Ukrainian government. I remember them threatening and saying that the world wouldn't get any of their grain unless they met their demands, gave them what they wanted. That they wouldn't get any of their grain. That came from Ukraine. I just think it's mind-blowing at the bipolar Ukrainian government, especially Zelensky. That guy is ate up. Ukraine announces major gun control move. I actually wanted to... anyway, I wanted to bump this up earlier. This is insane. In the United States, they're doing what they can to disarm the public. And not only are we sending billions of dollars of weaponry over to Ukraine, but now the Ukrainian government is now going to give their citizens the right to carry pistols for self-defense. Huh. Imagine that. Imagine that. It blows my mind what this government, the United States, it blows my mind. Anyway, reckon, hey, did they get rid of the "this is Russian news agency" crap on, I don't know if they did or not. I guess we'll find out. I see a bunch there without it. Okay. I have a couple of babes. I don't know, and I don't know if there's any craziness going on right now or anything in Akron. I know that News to Share was live earlier, but he kept having connection issues, and he's not currently live. But Red Pilling the Masses is live. So I don't know if she's got actual live video or if she's, right now playing recordings. But I would assume he will probably go back live at some point. Let me refresh one more time and take a peek. Nope, not live at the moment. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be lit on fire or not. I'm just saying that I can see where individuals would be highly motivated by what happened. So There's so many factors to consider, and just like I really didn't think that the nation was going to burn because of Roe versus Wade being overturned, the same things apply here. There's a lot going on in the world, and I think a lot more people notice that than sometimes we realize. And now, I'm not saying that necessarily they all, are getting the right, sense from it, because in my opinion, anybody that sees what's going on, they would be starting to get ready, starting to put stuff back. But there's a large amount of people that are noticing things are way out of whack and not getting any better, but still aren't putting any action to that. I think we're running short on time. I think we're running really short on time. And I would continue to urge people, tie up loose ends if you can. Tie up as many loose ends as you can. And get those preps taken care of. Get ready. Because, I'm more worried right now. I'm most concerned about this conflict with Russia. That is where my concern is. This stuff here, even if there does wind up being protests and riots and stuff like that, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a nationwide everything burning back like it was. I don't think we're going to see that. Of course, I could be wrong, but I really don't think we're going to see that. I think far too many people have other concerns that are coming before that for them. That's something that we haven't had in a long time because, just because we were spoiled in this country. Plain and simple. And that's just a fact. Many of us, not everybody, but many of us, have been spoiled. Absolutely. I can't sit here and lie to you and say I haven't been. I don't know of a time that in my life that I've had to go any type of extended amount of time without food or without a roof over my head, or I consider that a blessing. And so many of us, I think, are in that same boat, Anyway, right now people have a lot more on their plate. And I think it's going to get worse. I think the cost of food is just going to continue to skyrocket. I did notice eggs came down a little bit. So one channel made a video. They pointed out eggs. And so I immediately went and searched and looked at the cost of eggs here at our local Walmart. And they did come down, like about $3 or so they came down. So that's good. Don't know the availability of chicken yet. We haven't done shopping yet, so I hope I can get chicken. Anyway, yeah, just craziness. Let me go ahead and get back over, grab another sip, grab a couple of vapes, now shut up and start reading these to you. The coils that I last made for this tank, the best coils I think I've ever made for this tank. Man, good tasting, perfect. Have to remember that. 5 wraps, not 6. 6 makes the coil too tight and it shorts out and causes problems and all that. 5 wraps. Anyway, let's see. Starting with news from Friday, of course. Well, I do want to cover Thursday. after the show, it came out that the Iran nuclear talks ended without progress. So I believe that came out Thursday after the show, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, now to Friday morning, what I started putting out. U.S. says fighter jet sale to Turkey is in the works. China's Xi swears in new Hong Kong leader. Kissinger outlines 3 possible outcomes of the conflict in Ukraine. Well, yeah. And U.S. stocks off to worst start in over 50 years. COVID-19 may have originated in the U.S. biolab. I thought that was insane. Number of Americans willing to take up arms against government revealed, and did a report on that. Ukrainian envoy likens Nazi collaborator to Robin Hood. Finland's foreign minister reveals what helped break the deadlock in NATO talks with Turkey. EU member dismissed Russian demands, says Moscow. Nord Stream to halt gas supplies to the EU. And that's claimed over maintenance, but my question is will it be turned back on? Kremlin reacts to claims about nationalization of major gas project. First U.S. state seeks to ban gender-affirming treatments for children. EU gives Ukraine a to-do list. Germany angry over Kaliningrad blockade, says media. Turkey explains idea for easing global food supplies. Or global food crisis, sorry. German energy giant seeks government bailout, says Reuters. Ukrainians blame own government alongside Russia for conflict, says a poll. U.S. should pull out of NATO, says a congresswoman. Your father should have put... No, I'm kidding. Calm down. Kidding. Relax. Ukraine says it has won battle for borscht. Online voting kicks off in Andrei Stenin International Press Photo Contest. I don't know why I shared that one. Poland ditches benefits for Ukrainian refugees. U.S. overtakes Russia in gas exports to the EU. And remember that, by the way, as your energy prices go up, remember that part of that is because they're exporting energy over to the EU and everywhere else, and you're helping pay for that. So when your prices go up, appreciate that, because you're helping ship fuel or energy over to the EU and other places. It's insane. That is why, by the way, I want to clear this up. That is why there's a lot of people that are bitching about the Keystone Pipeline XL. Okay, the Keystone Pipeline is like there, and it's in operation right now. The thing that the people were opposing is the XL, the extension of that pipeline. And what that would have done is essentially allowed them to draw a straight line from Canada to the Gulf so that they could more easily and more quickly fill up ships to be able to, export that energy somewhere else. Now, here's the thing. They have even admitted that your costs would go up. That your costs would go up as a result of this. I don't get why so many Americans are just hell-bent that this Keystone XL thing is a good idea. It's not for putting energy, it's not for distributing energy within the United States. It's not for that. It's to be able to export it. It's so that they can make even more money and us even have to pay more because of it. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Let's see. Eurozone inflation accelerates. NATO applicants respond to Turkey over extradition. Julian Assange appeals extradition to the U.S., says Wall Street Journal. Let's see. How desperation following the Soviet collapse led to Ukrainians helping North Korea become a nuclear power. Interesting article there. Very interesting article there. EU takes aim at Russian gold, says Bloomberg. Russia demands rubles for grain exports. Police admitted to snooping, says activists. Researchers make move on animal organ transplant for humans, says media. Johnson government could break up the UK, says Ireland. Oscar-winning actor urges Biden impeachment. Americans don't want Biden to run again, says a poll. Biden can't run anyway. He can't ride a bike. He can eat ice cream and read a teleprompter sometimes. Turkey blocks 2 major Western news websites. China mocks U.S. over Afghanistan. A New York gun control law requires social media checks. How do you like them apples? Pentagon wrapping up tests for new microwave weapon. You don't say. Really? You're just now. You mean those same weapons you developed in the 80s and been testing all throughout the 90s, and those microwave weapons? I'm glad you're wrapping up the test on those. So, are you at the point now to where you can just have people swallow the popcorn and pop it inside of them? Because I'm pretty sure that was probably one of your goals, at least. Erdogan says Turkey will have world's best military. Well, yeah, give them some of these damn microwave weapons and feed everybody uncooked popcorn and then just explode them. There we go. Yeah, that's it. We just got to figure out how to get all the enemy troops to swallow a bunch of unpopped popcorn. Oh, but boy, do we have a plan now. Let's see. SpaceX authorized to connect Starlink to vehicles. Baltic nations see soaring electricity and gas tariffs. Oh, we're on yesterday, by the way. We started yesterday. When Erdogan says Turkey I have the best military. Let's see. Baltic nations see soaring electricity and gas tariffs. I said that. Russia's chief of staff visits troops in Ukraine. Pentagon provides Kiev with surface-to-air missile systems. Ukraine reiterates threat against Crimean Bridge. The world's biggest economy dangerously close to the recession, says analysts. I mean, at least you could do. You're just going to give Kiev like surface-to-air missiles. At least give me some of that kick-ass government cheese y'all used to make. Damn. Something. Let's see. World's biggest economy dangerously close to recession. I read that. When Ukraine accused of arbitrary restrictions against journalists. 2 civilians injured in Israeli airstrike, says Syrian military. WHO issues fresh warning over monkeypox. Germany issues warning over Russian gas. John Bolton makes prediction for Ukraine conflict. Hungary suggests solution to curb global inflation. UK cautioned about military aid to Ukraine. J.P. Morgan sounds alarm over oil price prospects. Officials pull back on controversial plan for Bezos' super yacht, says the media. That's about that bridge. They were going to have to dismantle a historic bridge for him to be able to get his big boner boat out of where it's at. And anyway, I guess I guess they said no, they're not going to do that now. So I don't know what they're going to do to get his big boner boat out of there, but I guess they'll figure out some way. China may be plotting moon takeover, says NASA. Poll predicts outcome of potential Trump-Biden rematch in 2024. Is that with or without the cheating? Just, asking for a nation. Ukraine distances itself from envoy over controversial remarks. Western arms supplied to Ukraine offered on Darknet. Really? You don't say. Training of Ukrainian troops dipped, says Foreign Policy. Serbia says it will not be NATO foot soldier. Should I hit the deck? Fun. Should have hit the floor. Under attack. Oh. No, somebody's lighting off fireworks out there. Let's see. Covered that. Deaths and injuries reported amid mass protests in Uzbekistan. Okay, let me have a sip of coffee. We are to this morning's news. Oh, that's awesome. That glad to see you're out of the hospital now too. Let's see. Okay. Three dead after suspected shelling in Russian city near Ukraine. That was Belgorod. If I know I'm saying that wrong. German minister speaks out against boycott of Russian culture. Let's see. Ukraine fires ballistic missiles at Russian city. Oh, I covered that. Duh. Germany understating dependence on Russian oil, says Die Welt. A Donbass Republic fully liberated, says Russian defense minister. Trump could announce 2024 bid soon, says media. Belarus explains nuke talks with Russia. G7 cap to have price of Russian oil, says Tokyo. Germany fears losing its power with Ukraine in the EU, says media. A U.S. embassy reacts to Donbass-themed address change. Jordan Peterson responds to Twitter suspension. Bezos rips into Biden over inflation plea. Germany comments on potential security guarantees for Kiev. EU eyes anti-Russia sanctions authority. EU country cleared to donate MiG-29s to Ukraine. I'll take a MiG-29. I mean, why not? Biden never did get me my F-15. Liz Truss disagrees with UK PM's "if Putin was a woman" claim. Second woman killed by shark in the Red Sea. Turkey detains Russian vessel. I covered that. British consumers face shop price inflation. West bars Kiev from thinking about peace, says Kremlin. Brits at risk of deadly gas blasts, says safety chief. Moscow suspects UK of seeking to infiltrate the Black Sea. A curfew imposed after deadly unrest in Uzbekistan. Let's see, covered that. And that. Macron says he doesn't want to annihilate Russia like Anglo-Saxon leaders. China ramps up Russian coal imports, says data. U.S. believes it's not yet time for peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Don't you like how the U.S. thinks it's up to them? Ukraine angry at French state media. Denmark police launch large-scale manhunt after fatal mall shooting. And that is that's what I got. That is the headlines that I has for you. Hang on. Click. That's what I got for you. Can't think of anything else. Pretty well covers it. Don't have any updates as far as we're concerned that I can think of. Everything's just going along. So, just avoiding the heat and, I've got the small grow tent going and, been tending to that. Had another Bible study, Saturday. So, well, that's what I call it. Anyway, other than that, just same old, same old. So I've been playing a little bit. I did some. I flew in a glider this morning. I flew just around town here in the simulator, of course, and actually recorded a video when I did it and uploaded it to our little town's community page, and that way they can see what their town looks like from the simulator. But other than that, just been same old, same old. I did do a little more flying this during this time off than usual, largely because of the glider. I do enjoy flying gliders. So anyway, I'm gonna hop on out of here. I'm gonna go retrieve that package. That's actually a package for Blue. So I am gonna go retrieve that and take care of that. And God willing, we'll be back tomorrow and we'll do it again. So I appreciate everybody coming. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it again. I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.